my name is Beck and welcome to the start of a weekly reading vlog. This week I really want to read or perhaps finish The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. This is the second Wheel of Time book. I have been reading this for 5 months, almost 6 now, and I'm just sick of having it on my currently reading shelf on Goodreads. And yesterday, or over the weekend, because this is Monday, over the weekend I read like 50 to 70 pages and I finally picked it back up again. And actually stuff in here is starting to get a bit more interesting. In my opinion, you could honestly cut out the middle chunk of this book and it would still flow perfectly well. So the first 150 pages and then the last 250 pages. You don't need that section in the middle because that's the section that threw me off for like 5 months and just made it feel boring to me. So I'm really happy that I'm back into it again. It just follows Rand. There's a bunch of quests going on. There's an evil dark one. There are chosen ones or tavern, which are like, I guess, gifted or destined. And so there's a whole bunch of world building going on. There are mythical creatures. There's a dark one, like I said. There's good versus evil. I like it. I don't love it. This one has been like a 3 stars for me. At some parts it was even like a 2.5 stars out of 5. It's just creeping back into 3-star territory though, so hopefully the ending is decent and hopefully I don't go back into a 2.5-star rating because I really wanted to like this series, and the way it's going now it keeps making me want to not continue at all and also give the 3rd book a chance. And it just really depends on the day that you ask me. I don't know what I want to do yet. I know that I want to get to the end of this, so really that is the main goal for this week. I'm also listening to Side Jobs by Jim Butcher, and that is the 12.5 book in the Dresden Files, and it is compiled of a bunch of short stories both from Dresden's perspective and from other characters' perspectives, which are really cool. And Dresden is a wizard detective. I love the series. I'm doing reviews for them as I go, and I've accidentally skipped this one, and I've read Dresden 12 and 13, so Changes and then Ghost Story, but this one was supposed to be read after Changes. It can be done in bite-sized chunks because it's obviously a short story bind up, and so I've been listening to pieces of it when I can, but I've kind of dragged my feet again just because I really struggle to listen to audiobooks, at least lately. I'm not making time for them, so that is on the cards to at least get close to the end of, because I would really love to have the audiobook situation wrapped up before the new Becky Chambers book comes out, because that was in my July TBR and I'm really looking forward to reading it. It's A Psalm for the End of the World. I know it follows a gender fluid or gender neutral robot as they explore what humanity means, where humanity went, and what their relationship is with themselves and with nature. And I love how Becky Chambers manages to capture that existential feeling, not necessarily dread, but just existential awareness and feeling in her work. So I'm really looking forward to her new release. But Wheel of Time, this big chunk, is my determined goal for this week. So I'm on page 572 and I need to get past 698. No, that's the index, so not even. I need to get up to 669 and then I will have finished this. And on Goodreads it says 701. So thankfully I'm a little bit further in my progress than Goodreads thinks I am, but it's still not enough because it's not finished. So that's essentially my plans. And then if by some miracle I manage to get through The Great Hunt, if I get through that, I want to reread Starsight by Brandon Sanderson because I just finished reading Skyward and I loved it, and I want to write a review and all my thoughts about it, and then I can jump into Starsight. So The Great Hunt, Side Jobs on audiobook, and Starsight are my reading plans. But given that I've got a few things on this week, especially after work as well, and video filming and video editing, because I'm not as caught up as I want to be, I don't think I'm going to get to this one, but it's a bit of a pipe dream anyway that I thought I'd tack on the end. So let's hope that I can smash the pages in The Great Hunt. Let's hope I can do it. Hello again, it is Thursday. I am so exhausted from concentrating at work, so I haven't really done much reading. I've read about 10 or 15 pages more of The Great Hunt, and I'm trying to ignore the dog that is non-stop barking next door, but I'm sorry if it annoys you because it's annoying me. And in addition to the tiny amount of reading I've done of The Great Hunt, I've also listened to a little bit more of Side Jobs, and I'm on a story called The Warrior, and I'm really liking it because we get to see a side character that has influenced Dresden in a positive way throughout the beginnings of the story, and I really like seeing this character again. But apart from that, I can't really update anymore. I was hoping to have read a lot more at this point, but usually when I go home during the week, so I spend part of my time during the week at home and then part of my time at my partner's, usually when I go home, I don't really read that much because I'm distracted by a whole bunch of other stuff. And case in point, I got this giant thing of bubble wrap, and that is because I'm getting rid of a ton of things and I'm going through and weighing them all so I can calculate postage costs. So I haven't really been focusing on physically reading things. I've been focusing on clearing some stuff out, and that's been going really well, but my reading hasn't. So I'm praying that I can get to some more tomorrow, but maybe this weekend I'll have to do instead, because I know that tomorrow I'm going out for dinner with some friends. So it has just been a bit of a full-on week, but what week hasn't been full-on really? And I am crouching down on the floor because I don't have a chair, so I need to go because my knees hurt. Hello, it is Saturday now. I've listened to more of Side Jobs and I'm really enjoying myself. I really like seeing all of the insights with the side characters rather than just Dresden, and I'm actually quite happy that I've left it this long to read all of the short stories, because now that I know a lot more context, it's fun to read the entire thing rather than stop and start, because the introduction of each story, it tells you where each book or where each short story is situated, whether it's between turncoat and changes and that kind of thing. And there's one that is set an hour after changes, and when I finished changes I absolutely had my mind blown. So now that I've had that context as to what happened shortly after it, it's been really interesting too, so I'm really liking it basically. And I also have Wheel of Time still. I have 100 pages left to read of this, but I've got a fairly packed weekend, so we're seeing friends, and then after that we've got an early celebration for Dave's birthday tomorrow. So I'm thinking that while I want to try and get through this, I don't think I will, and that really frustrates me because I thought that I would finish it this week. And if I don't finish it this week, I'm going to be really angry at myself. But I really don't have much left now. So the vlog that I started ages ago when I started reading this, the spoiler vlog, it's actually had progress on it, which is really nice. So hopefully I can get to the end, but it's just really taking me ages. And I think I've ultimately decided that I'm probably gonna DNF Wheel of Time as a series. I don't know if it's gonna be indefinite or not, but I do plan on putting it down after this volume, because honestly, if it's gonna be this much work to get through, it's not worth me pushing through the series and forcing myself to read stuff that I'm not gonna love in the end. And I really did enjoy the first book and I gave it 4 stars, so I'm quite salty that I haven't loved my experience going forward. But ideally it would have been a 3 or 4 stars. At the moment it's sitting on like a 2.5 stars, and that's just not worth continuing. I like characters in here, but I dislike most of them, and when I dislike a lot of characters in a story, it doesn't make me want to pick it up again. So I'm sure there's awesome development and world building, but the way that Robert Jordan writes, at least in this volume, it felt very circular, and it just hasn't felt like there's been a lot of progression. So it's disappointing me, but I have 100 pages left, and if I can read some more this weekend, that would be great. But of course I will update you, because I felt like this vlog has been very sparse on updates, but I did go through my bookshelf when I was at home and I've pulled off a ton of stuff. So there's almost 40 books there that I'm getting rid of. So expect another unhaul coming up. I guess I've been productive off camera, but not so much reading wise, because I went through that big list with that bubble wrap I showed earlier, and now I have a list and a weight corresponding to all of the books that I'm either selling or getting rid of. So I have been productive and I have been working a ton, and I've just been very exhausted. So I'm happy that I've managed to squeeze in some audiobook time, and I have been doing a little bit of reading of this. So it's not like I've been doing nothing, but I'm 3 books behind on my Goodreads challenge right now, and I've only read 22 books this year, and I wanted to get to 60, and I just don't think that's gonna happen. So I've gone from 100 to maybe 80 to maybe 60 to maybe 50 or 40. So my reading challenge just keeps going down, and I know I only challenge myself, but I'm still frustrated that I'm not reading as much as I want to read. So I think life has just been a little bit insane lately, and it would be nice to carve out some space for reading, but I think because I've not been able to listen to audiobooks very much, it's just stopped my capacity to get through things as quickly. My commute to work isn't as long as it used to be, so that's why I haven't been really listening to audiobooks. And also I start at 7 o'clock in the morning, and nobody really has the the brain capacity to do anything at 7 o'clock or earlier in the morning, let alone listen to an audiobook and comprehend what's happening. So that is also why I haven't been listening to audiobooks on my commute. So there's a whole mixing pot of things going on, but ultimately I would just really like to finish this, and I'm very frustrated at the fact that I haven't yet. And that's really all that this update is. Hello, now it's Sunday and I'm here to wrap up this vlog with apparently a miracle, because I finished The Great Hunt and my rating is going to be a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I hoped it would stick to a 3 stars. At one point I thought it would be a 4 or a 5 stars even, but this book just really didn't do it for me. Key parts of it were interesting and I liked particular plot points more towards the end, but it honestly was not enough for me to continue. So unfortunately I'm going to stop reading the Wheel of Time series like I said before, and again I don't know whether I'm going to pick it up at a later date randomly or not, but at the moment I'm not really buying a ton of books, and so I've made sure not to buy the entire series, and I've been buying one book at a time, so it's not like I have the rest of them sitting there making me feel guilty, so I'm not going to continue the series. So I feel very free now that I've finished this, because it's been hanging over me for like 6 months and I'm finally done with it. So now whatever I start I feel like I've got a clean slate. I am still reading an audiobook, and that is Side Jobs by Jim Butcher, and I'm, like I said before, really enjoying that still. The short stories are great, the charisma and the characterization are awesome, so I'm anticipating that I'm going to give that a 4 or 4.5 stars, but I'm only 80% through that. So it's a carryover over to next week, but that's fine with me. My main goal was to read this. I obviously didn't start Starsight because I've been too busy, but I'm just really happy that I got through this. So that is it for this reading vlog. Thank you so much for watching. Come and chat to me down below in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.